Good evening, everybody. I misplaced my mouse. Well, I didn't. Someone did. And you know how you use that one tool and you're lost without it? Because I'm not used to using this touchpad. So I'm like, oh no. So anyway, welcome to tonight's Let's Talk Autism session. For those of you who don't know me, I am Nita. I am one of the admins. Tonight I am solo. Linda is not feeling well, but I am here and I'm going to put the link in if anyone wants to join me. And I do have to do some sharing. So I hope everyone is doing okay. Give me a second. Give me a quick second. I'm all out of whack, you guys.
Give me a second.
All out of whack. Nope, that's not what I want. So, hey, Michelle. How are you? Hey, Rachel. Hey, Dannon. Yeah, I feel naked, real naked. Loving the blast color. Oh, thank you, Dannon. Yeah, prayers for Linda. She's not feeling too well this evening. Cooking dinner. What's for dinner? Hey, Kate. What's for dinner tonight? Give me a second, you guys, because I'm sharing to the groups here. Yeah, I'm all out of whack. All out of whack. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I know, you guys. Please be patient with me. I'll get it together sooner or later. Pancakes. Oh, that sounds good. Pancakes and waffles. You just had COVID. Oh, I'm sorry. Hope you're feeling better, Kate. I'm in a toxic environment. I need to get out, but I don't know how. Hi, Ziggy. I hope you're fine. I'm watching from Ghana. Well, hello, Miguel. Give me a second still. One couple more shares here, you guys. And then I'm gonna put the link in here. Can't find anything. And I'm not gonna say today was a bad day, but I had one of those days. And one more. I think I did it all. I think I got them all. I think. Here we go. All right. So I think I got them all. Yeah, Kate, I hope you're doing a lot better. That was not good. A case of COVID. Let me put this in here. Copy the clipboard. Almost together, y'all. Almost together. So I have a question for you guys tonight. Really interested in hearing your thoughts. And I do want to check. Now, I put the link in for those if you want to come on, because tonight I'm solo. But if you want to come in and join me in the room, you are more than welcome. So if this is your first time to one of our Let's Talk Autism sessions, what this is all about is open discussion. It's all about parents helping parents. If you have a question, comment, you want to share some good news, that's what it's all about. If you see a question in the chat area, feel free to chime in and help another parent out. I try to read whatever questions are going down the timeline or the chat area and get to them as they come. So I am still doing some organization here. And I'm almost set, you guys. Almost. Okay. I just want to make sure everything is in place before I start running my mouth. Let's see, recent. I heard someone come in the room. Give me a second. I'm on another page here. Go back in here. Oh, I hate this touchpad. Hi, Kate.
Hey, Nita.
Hey, Monique.
Hey, Monique. Hi.
Ziggy is asking about help for Paris, Texas. If you know anything, you're in Texas, right?
Yeah, I'm in New Braunfels, but that's way far the opposite direction of me.
I would suggest calling your local organizations, Ziggy.
Yeah, me too. Either law
Yeah,
enforcement can help get out of the situation.
right. If you need help, there's plenty of local, especially in Texas now this time.
Oh, yeah.
And if they can't help, I'm sure they have lots of resources going
They
on.
do. They have protection services. They have social work. They have everything here. So just
Mm-hmm.
call the non-emergency number for police, and they'll come out and help.
Hey, Santana. Hey, Mr. Charles. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How about you?
Hi, Charles.
Hi, Kate. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
welcome.
Rachel.
What's up, ladies?
Hi.
Hey, how you doing, Charles?
Whoever just joined.
Hey, Pauline. Good
Hi,
evening.
Pauline.
Stephanie, newbie here. I'm Stephanie from Texas. I have a 5-year-old son. Nice to be joining. Welcome, Stephanie.
He's
Welcome to the
you need
group,
on
Stephanie.
we'll respond to him as soon as we get off here to help them.
Yeah, Ziggy, the most I could tell you about help in Texas, other than calling your local organizations right now, because I really don't have any resources. Kate is in Texas, but she says she's far from Paris, but she gave you some information, right? As far as helping Kate?
Ziggy, as soon as this live is over,
Yeah, as soon as she'll get back to you. Kate is good about contacting with information.
I'm just gonna keep
Hi, Dana.
Here
Hey.
I am. I'm back. Sorry, it keeps reloading me. Keep cutting me out.
Okay,
Hi,
once again,
Rachel.
for those of you who are new tonight, I'm opening it up to anyone who wants to join. I do this when Linda is not available. She's not feeling well this evening. She's not feeling well this evening. I'm hearing some feedback. Somebody's got some feedback in the background.
Oh,
Okay,
I'm driving.
all right, I'm gonna mute.
Dannon.
Hey,
What's up, bud?
Okay,
Hey,
I'm gonna
Dan.
mute everybody for just a second. Just a second, you guys. Just a second. Let me see.
It's Dannon.
Okay. 1 second, you guys. So if you're very new to our Let's Talk Autism sessions, what this is all about is parents helping parents, or anyone who wants to chime in. If you have a question, comment, suggestion, want to share some good news, feel free to throw it in the chat. What I'm doing this evening, because Linda is not feeling well, is I'm leaving the door open, so anyone is welcome to come join us in the live area, in the room. So feel free to come on in if you want, but if you have any questions, feel free. But tonight, I have one for everybody, anyone who has an adult. Well, I have a son, and he has autism, but he also has ADHD. So I'm wondering if any of you have adults that have ADHD. He's 14 now. So I'm going to say from like maybe when he was like 4, 5, he's been bouncing off walls, and he's growing and he's still bouncing off walls. Did it ever slow down for you? What things can I do? What do I have to look forward to as he gets an adult? Because I don't want him to be bouncing off the wall, have a 25-year-old and still running and jumping. I'm at my wit's end, and he has me going crazy. Anyone else deal with this? Anyone have an adult that is still hyper, or as his doctor always says, she always tells me it's gonna calm down as he gets older, but how much older? That's what I'm waiting on. Anyone else?
I don't think I ever had ADHD, but the diagnosis didn't exist when I was growing up any more than the autism. Well, a little bit was known about autism, but not very much then, and so I didn't get diagnosed till later in life with that. But I don't think I would have, qualified for an ADHD diagnosis in any case.
Okay, you weren't that hyper kid just running around.
I wasn't really.
Okay, and when I will say it, he calmed down a little bit because he used to be a daredevil. I mean, and what I mean by that, like jumping off the porches, couches, and things like that. But now he's calmed that down a little bit, but he's still, I mean, very, very active.
Yeah. I never was inclined to do that. Hi, Danielle.
Hey, Danielle. So, okay.
I was scared of doing things that seem dangerous.
Right. All right. Junior and Kara, I'm thinking that's what that is. I will make sure to let her know. Yeah. So that is my little dilemma here. I keep, like I say, he's 14, he'll be 15 this year, and I'm just wondering. Now his mental age is like 5. So at this point, he's like a 5-year-old. So it's like, will it end?
That mental age is kind of a misleading expression because often, people on the autism spectrum will display some traits that seem well above their age level, others way below their age level, and so it's kind of hard to. I'm not crazy about that term because it strikes me as an oversimplification.
Mm.
It does. It's like we've got different ages for different things. Because like when I was 20, I was physically 20. I was intellectually. I've always hung around with older people, but yet I still had Legos, and I literally the one girl I was dating back then. I used to joke that I got along with her 3-year-old so well because I had a bigger set of Legos, and I literally did.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, can you guys tell everybody a little bit about yourselves, Mr. Charles and Dannon, and let them know?
Well, let me let Dannon go first.
Go ahead,
Dannon.
All
right. Long hair first, huh? 48, smart ass. Was it? I love my dog. Or smart Alec, sorry. I don't know, a single dad, going through a boatload of challenges and doing the best I can, even when I fall on my face.
Were you diagnosed with autism?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I wanted you to, so everybody get a background of what you're talking about.
Sorry, I missed that point. Yes, I am autistic. Hence missing the point. Yeah, I was actually initially going to be diagnosed when I was in the neighborhood of like 12. My mom had already passed away. I was living with my gram. And it was in the neighborhood of back when it came into the news how people were treated with mental disabilities in the psych centers, everything. My grandmother refused to let them diagnose me, put a label on me, because it was such a huge stigma. You figure this is neighborhood of like what, 84, 85, something like that. So I was not finally and officially, or formally, whatever you want to call it, diagnosed until, this is 21, I don't know, probably about 6-7 years ago. Wasn't going for a diagnosis.
So you were an adult too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, very. I always knew that I was. It's like I was part of, in my early 20s, I was part of a group called Youth Engaged Service.
Okay.
And the coordinator for it, we went to this one thing and they were talking about how to interact. Oh, it was a prep thing for volunteering with people with the Disabled Olympics, whatever it's called.
Okay.
And and they had asked, it's like, how do you treat people with disabilities? And I perked up and I said, like everybody else. Right. And then after the meeting, she said, it's like, how did you know? It's like, because I am one. She had no clue. Hello, welcome back. But yeah, I've just made do the best I could, and most of the time did pretty good.
Okay, great. Mr. Charles?
Yeah, well, I grew up at a time when very little was known about autism, and even much of what medical science thought it knew was wrong, like Bruno Bettelheim's cold mother theory, which was generally accepted at the time. So, I wasn't diagnosed till much later in life. And I was in my early school years, 3 different mental health professionals found 3 different ways to blame my mom for the social difficulties I was having. Same time, I was way ahead of all the other kids in math. And in fact, in my senior year of high school, I placed first in the state of Connecticut in a national math contest. I graduated with honor from Michigan State with a degree in math. I got married and raised a daughter. Now I'm retired. I'm a retired mainframe computer software engineer. Live in Connecticut with my wife Cindy. My daughter lives in Maine. I have 2 grandchildren. I was diagnosed finally about 25 years ago. My daughter had seen the movie Rain Man, and she began urging me to see the movie, and it took a while, but eventually I turned on TV and the movie was coming on, so I said, let me watch it. Find out why Dorothy's been telling me to watch this movie. And by the time the movie was over, well, I went down and looked up autism in the Mayo Clinic Family Medical Guide, and the last 2 sentences mentioned there's also a milder form of autism and whose main symptom is social awkwardness. I said, bingo, that's me. And I then, during the subsequent months, I learned a little bit more. I heard about Temple Grandin's book. I bought a copy of it, read it, her book, Thinking in Pictures. And I called the local autism society, and they referred me to a neurologist who made the diagnosis. And, so that was back in 1996. And here I am now.
And here you are today. Well, that's awesome. So both of you have something in common here. Both of you were adults, and both of you have children. So you can definitely
I forgot about that.
On the spectrum, huh?
I forgot about that point. I've got like a whole slew of them. My son is diagnosed the Asperger's.
Okay.
My youngest, Mia, she was way too young last I'd seen her, but it never really got her diagnosed nor tried. But you kind of learn the signs. She knew math like nothing. We'd go to the store. She would want to organize any and every display, especially the toys, by category, by color.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
So you have two, boy and a girl.
Yeah. Well, actually, I have 6.
Oh, you have 6. Okay.
Wow.
So out of all 6 of your children, just the 2 were diagnosed. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, actually, only my son was diagnosed. My daughter, as far as I know, she has never been formally diagnosed.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And my daughter, on the other hand, is neurotypical the way, very clearly. Math is probably her weakest subject. It's a weak subject for her. The same is true of my granddaughter. It's a weak subject for her. Dorothy is an award-winning professional photographer in Maine. She mainly photographs weddings and anyway, that's where she is. And my grandchildren are out there too.
Beautiful.
I'll be right back, y'all.
Okay,
I'll be right back. I gotta go get them. I'm gonna put you on mute. I'm home. I'm not driving, but I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay. Well, just a little backstory on me since we're telling. My son was diagnosed. I have 4 children. My youngest, he's 14. He was diagnosed when he was 3. I kind of, I guess you could say I was blinded. The signs were there. I just, as a parent, and I had never heard of autism before my son got diagnosed. It was, and when the doctor said, well, there may be something wrong, as a mother, like, nothing's wrong with my child. And his dad was actually the one that kind of pushed to go to the doctor and see what's going on with him, because he started talking and then he stopped. But there were a lot of signs before that even happened. Like when he was a baby, like he wouldn't hold his bottle. When they get 4 months, around 4 months, they like to grasp the bottle. He was what I like to call a lazy baby. He didn't sit up, at 7 months, he wasn't even sitting up. It took him a while to sit up on his own. He didn't crawl until he was like 10 months. He didn't walk. He walked late. So it was a lot of things that I just was in denial about. And then when I got the diagnosis, it was a lot I had to learn. And to this day, I'm still learning. Still learning a lot about autism. But that's my baby. He has progressed. He has regressed. But he has made tremendous progress since from a couple years ago. But that's our little backstory. Rachel took off. Anyone else? Let me see. I don't know why, but here it is. Anyone else have any questions or something they want to share in the chat? I need my mouse, you guys. I'm lost. This touchpad thing is just not for me.
Well, you're using a laptop.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do not like this.
Yeah, I've used laptops. I prefer to get a mouse for them just because it's easier.
Hi,
you
man.
You may want to look into getting a trackball. They stay in one place and they're larger, so they're harder to lose. Although I still sometimes lose mine, and especially when the ball falls out.
Okay. I'm gonna have to look into that.
Yeah,
thinking my son grabbed mine. I left it. I know I left it on my desk, but it disappeared. So Junior and Kara says, my boys excel in math, but have the hardest time with writing and reading. Both get OT and PT for the past couple years, but are still having a hard time. Anything I can do more to help? I would say pick out their strengths in reading. So if they can read like a couple of basic words, play on those and just keep that repetitiveness really helps, even with the math. Mr. Charles is a mathematician here. Maybe you can give her some pointers about learning.
Well, one thing too is I don't know how old your boys are, but if they're and the extent of their struggles when it comes to reading. Whether they're at first grade level and trying to learn basic reading, or whether they're at high school level and below their reading level and reading ability. But look at what subjects they're interested in and get them reading material that's in line with their interests. Like I'm in high school, I was really into detective stories, and I read just about every book that Earl Stanley Gardner ever wrote. Not only Perry Mason novels, but a lot of his other mystery novels. I read almost all of them Agatha Christie novels too. So, I'm and Brett Halliday and Mike Shane series. So that's the thing. You go for something that's in their area of interest. If it's a case where they're older boys, but their reading is below the expected level for their grade.
That's great. That's a great suggestion, Charles. I was actually thinking the same thing. It's whatever you can do to inspire their own willingness to motivate themselves. Oh yeah, that's how I'm a horrible reader. So there's times I have to read the same thing 5 times just to get it to sink in, like connect one sentence to the next and all that. But yeah, they get that motivation of their own. Actually, a good example, my daughter, Mia, my youngest, when she was about 3 or 4, and I've always been a maker. I've got tools for making all over the place. But she made me and she used those words, Dad, you promise you are going to teach me how to use all of your tools. And I told her I would, age appropriate, but right. I promised that. And every time that she'd get aggravated, I would remind her of that. And she would get past the aggravation, because then she'd remember, and it would motivate her. And it helps a lot to get that personal motivation and hot diggity.
Okay. So those are some good tips. Joshua wanted to know where Ziggy is. Ziggy is in Paris, Texas. So if you have any information, make sure you reach out. I think Kate mentioned she was helping him or her. I'm sorry. Michelle says my son hit all his milestones until he hit 18 months and then regressed back to maybe 6 months. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I was just the opposite. Michelle, and then I hear, a lot of people mention that, but I was just blinded. Because, like I said, my baby was lazy. He didn't. I was doing it, and he was quiet. The only thing he would do was smile. He smiled all the time, but he was a really quiet baby. I would have to wake him up to feed him. So, his dad was like, "Hey, something's not right here. We need to. Nothing wrong with my baby. Leave my baby alone." Yeah. But when he was 18 months, he did stop. No. I take that back. When he was like 2, maybe 2.5 almost, that's when he stopped saying words. He started talking, and he may have only started for a few months. He would say hello. He would pick up the phone. Hello. I remember him saying flowers and love. And then all of a sudden he just went mute. Wouldn't say anything. So, yeah, but I hear a lot of that. That 18-month mark is crucial when especially when noticing, when something's wrong with our babies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there's been studies done neurologically around that age, if there's something, a chemical or whatever, that would make that range so significant.
Right. I'm sure probably. But I wish they would come up with something concrete to, let us know. Because like I said, sometimes, there's a lot of factors that could come into play. But nothing's ever been, concrete.
Yeah. Well, it's more theories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember how much that broke my heart. Yeah. I can imagine. Junior and Kara says they are 7 and 8. Trey was doing 3rd grade math in kindergarten. Oh, wow. Thomas.
Nice. Get after my own heart.
Thomas scored highest in his class. They love being read to, but I think they act almost scared to read. They have to be able to do everything perfect or it's a meltdown city. And they don't want anything to do with it. Thomas has a hard time recognizing sounds. Thomas didn't talk until he was 4.5 and still can't speak very well. Speech therapist said he can't hear sounds and won't be able to do phonics. I love Agatha Christie too.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. With his hearing, he's not able to. He can hear. He just can't recognize certain sounds. Right? Am I getting that right? Go ahead, Mr. Charles. I just wanted to go ahead. What were you going to say?
Yeah, you're describing kind of a different problem from when I was envisioning, because the problem here seems to be the fear of making a mistake, and they can't handle making a mistake. And so, I think maybe, I don't know if the occupational therapist can help with that, or it might be able, or ABA might be able to, I don't know, but you need to address that problem. It sounds to me, it's not a matter of finding something that interests them. It's a matter of addressing, the actual problem here.
Mm-hmm.
Could also be getting them comfortable with making mistakes, because it's part of being human. We don't want to. We get embarrassed to. In the society, we're not supposed to. But getting them comfortable with making mistakes, like pointing out, like one thing I did with Mia, my youngest, with making mistakes, is I told her, was it Thomas Edison that they say he found 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb before he figured out how to make one. And if you can find lots of references like that, let them see you make mistakes. Let them see you go, okay, now how do I fix it? You know what I mean? Seeing you make mistakes, have the difficulty, but then step past that difficulty. That's the big thing. Because so many people, they get caught up on that trip of making the mistake
perfect.
Exactly. I know I do that. I get crazy details, and
I
you forget.
Even with me, if I start something and I get frustrated because I want something to be perfect, and it's like If it's not, I'm frustrated and I'll say, I'll do that tomorrow. I'm done with it right now. You know,
Right.
go back to it later and try again.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the key is the child has to learn, has to, you know, become able to handle making a mistake. And,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
seeing you make mistakes may help, it may not. But the thing is, you know, some of these forms of therapists know how to deal with these oddities.
Mhm.
Hopefully.
Yeah, Michelle says, I think it has a lot to do. I think it has a lot to do with the factors. Also, I wonder if it is at that age when certain things turn on or turn, yeah, that 18 month. Yeah.
Mhm.
And like I said, my situation was a little different, but I hear a lot, it's really common that 18-month mark is where it's at. And like you say, a lot of factors, it could be anything. And I'm not trying to get in a debate, but I know a lot of people believe it may be the vaccines. But for me, it could be, they could contribute to it. I'm not saying they don't, but you know, I live in a big city. That could have something to do with, you know, the pollution. Maybe it's something I eat. I have family members, other family members that are on the spectrum. So it could just be in the DNA. So, you know, we don't know.
And that's one thing, because if you look
family
through,
members.
Say
sorry,
again.
Charles.
So when you
said
have
that's
other
one.
family members, that increases the chance that it's genetic. Because now in my case, I have a lot of intellectuals on both sides of my family tree, and that was something that Temple Grandin identified as the genetic contributing factor, even if you don't have anyone who's recognizably autistic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, and that's the thing. I know, like one side of my family, I can right off the top of my head, I know of 4, you know, in a certain line of my family. On the other side, there's none. And I've always thought about it, you know, maybe, just maybe, that's where it came from, you know. So who knows? And a lot of things play a part.
Oh, there could be an infinite number of factors and whatnot, absolutely. And yeah, there's a possibility vaccines and whatnot, maybe. But in all honesty, no way, shape, form can it be the only reason. Because you look back in history, whether it be the 1900s, 1200s, whatever, you see people that high intellectuals to people that have to have other, they're like the court jesters or the town idiot, quote unquote. Forgive my complete political incorrectness. But you get, I hope you get what I'm thinking. It's just, honestly, I think it's just part of the human genome on how we can be on so many different areas of the spectrum. Just like how, and forgive me if this is a sensitive whatever, but it's like the whole thing of people being born with male parts, but yet electrochemically they're female, and vice versa. Right. It's just part of the human
makeup.
Yeah. Exactly. We are all over the spectrum. It's like they say, you meet one autistic person, okay, you met one autistic person. Somebody from another galaxy, they meet one human. Well, congratulations, they met one human.
And Junior and Kara says, yes, he's had tubes, okay, in his ears to try and help. Okay.
Yeah.
My one daughter had tubes in her ears.
But yeah, I think one thing that I find interesting is I like to play chess. I haven't played it with another human in a while, but still, it's a game I enjoy. But now it's pretty well known, pretty widely suspected that, let's put it that way, that Bobby Fischer was autistic. That's pretty widely accepted. But some of the others who have held the title of world chess champion also have given evidence. Alexander Alyahin, who held the title for a total of 17 years, was a notoriously sore loser. When he lost the game, he would pick up his king and hurl it across the room. And after one tournament, when he lost a key game in the Carlsbad tournament of 1923, a game that earned his opponent the Brilliancy Prize, he went back to his hotel room and smashed every stick of furniture. But the guy that held the title just before Alexander Alyahin, an interesting case, Jose Raul Capablanca. He learned the game of chess at the age of 4 just from watching his dad play. Nobody had to tell him, had to teach him the moves. He just learned by watching. He became chess champion of Cuba at the age of 12. And one of the interesting is he wrote a couple of books in chess. The first book he wrote on chess, it was for beginners, but he didn't bother with telling people of how the rules of the game, how the pieces move and so on, how they're set up, how they move. He just went right into the game. And that's a trait of autism, are assuming that others have are operating the same facts that we are.
That they already know. They should know what you know, basically.
Yeah.
Well, there's theory of Nikola Tesla and Einstein both being autistic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Hormones from food, autism runs big on. Yeah, Michelle, there's so much stuff they put in our foods these days. Yeah.
Preservatives.
Hi, Annette.
Hi, Annette.
Hello.
Okay, you're worried about Ziggy. Okay, we'll talk. We'll talk, Kate.
Yeah, if you want help, Kate, I've some experience. I used to work at a crisis room, and I've helped a couple people with trying to find local resources.
Oh, that would be awesome. Get in touch with. Would you mind? Would you mind?
No, not at all. Absolutely, my pleasure. Everybody should be able to feel safe. Absolutely.
Yeah. Kate, if you can, get in touch with Dannon.
Yeah. Kate,
so you know some resources about in Texas where Ziggy is located. Thank you, Dannon. I appreciate that.
Well, yeah, that's what good old Google's for. It's like a friend of mine, bad situation. She lived like an hour north of, or a little bit north of New York City, and I was helping her, getting her in touch with local resources and whatnot, trying to create a safe plan so she and her kids could get out, etc.
That would be awesome. Thank you, Dannon.
That's
you. Michelle says, I watched a documentary and they were talking about asylums. Yep. And how they said they believe before vaccines, people with autism and other disorders. I can believe that, Michelle. And I think I told this story a while back on here. I don't remember. But when growing up, and I don't know if most of you are my age, but growing up, you would see we had a guy that stayed down the street from us. And every weekend, a little van would come and drop him off at his dad's house. And we never knew, what was wrong. He would get back on the bus and he would go back to the asylum or mental hospital or whatever it was. And, to me, now that I look at it and encountering him, I can't diagnose autism, but that's what it seemed like. And I believe that because, and then they had situations where a lot of parents were so embarrassed with their kids, so they just put them in mental institutions or the doctors would tell them, this is where your kids belong, And then when they started closing all of these institutions, they had nowhere else to put them. So everybody started recognizing, It's not as bad as you really think. We can take care of our babies at home. But yes, I do. Yeah, I believe that.
Well, yeah, it's like I believe it was Abraham Lincoln's wife, maybe one of the presidents, I believe, actually went into an asylum for being a kleptomaniac.
Wow.
Really? Wow.
I think it was Lincoln's wife. It's been years since I've heard it. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I can believe that too, Michelle. And I can just imagine what they were going through, with anybody who goes into those places. I can only imagine.
Yeah, it's like I have an older brother, and my sister and we both still contend because he smoked, sniffed everything in the early to mid 80s. But it wasn't until the late 80s and 90s when he bounced from one psych center to another, they absolutely fried his brains on the prescription drugs. It's ridiculous because they just load him down. They just, particularly back then, they wanted him subdued. They didn't care.
Yeah.
And actually thinking about it, even the local prisons will still do that. They will over medicate just to subdue my kitty wants her attention. So she's walking back and forth on my desk.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, okay, everybody. Anyone else want to come on and say some last words? We're getting down to our last, 13 minutes. So if you want to come on, feel free. If you want to say hi, want to share some good news, you are welcome. And while we're waiting, we're doing two things I want to announce. We're looking for those of you who want to write articles and help us with our blog. If you want to share a piece of your story, if you want to share some tips or suggestions, and by way of writing the article, you can do that through our webpage. And as a gift to you, for those of you who write the articles, we're giving a $25 gift certificate. So if you're interested in that, the second thing is the book club. We're looking for volunteers. You don't have to be an avid reader, but if you are a casual reader, we're looking for those of you who are interested in leading the discussion. So if you're interested in being one of the book club leaders, and all you would do is, that book or chapters we are reading, at the time it's your turn to lead, you would lead the discussion, prepare some discussion questions for that time, and, kind of keep it going. So if you're interested in doing that, that's for our Discussions and More group. If you're interested in that, reach out to us. Let's see. Thank you guys for everything and being so nice. You are so welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Hope we can all be helpful. JR and Sarah.
I am glad we as a society now are more. Yes. We still have some work to do. We still have some work to do, but it's getting better, and it's getting there.
Yeah.
Don't talking about it.
and that's just it. And actually, that's one thing I was wondering. I don't know if this is something I should ask off PM or whatnot. I know my situation and history with my kids and everything is pretty extreme. I don't know if that's something that would be good for one of your articles or telling people or whatnot, or what or whatnot.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, if you're interested, I will I will share the link. It is on it should be below this live. Just scroll a little bit and you click on the link. And if you're interested, anybody's welcome to write, but your article or your story has to be original for us, at least for the first few weeks. And then after a few weeks, then you can publish it elsewhere. We have a few so far. I want to thank those who have submitted an article. Thank you. I'm going to start doing the blog starting this week. Tomorrow's March 1st, you guys.
Really already?
Oh my God. Already. Time just flies. But I'm going to start this week with our first blog story. And that would be from Miss Amber. So, yeah. So if you're interested, like I said, it should be below this live on our main page. So if you're on our main page, facebook.com/autism and us, just scroll down and you'll see the information for that. Thank you for joining us, Annette. I appreciate you. Thank you, guys. Anyone else? Any last words, guys?
I'm glad to be part of this group and glad to, be whatever encouragement my experiences can give to parents. I'm glad to give that encouragement and, hope it helps.
I'm the same way. It's like with me, the one good thing I can do with the FUBARD of the past 20 years is share and help other people. Difficulties I've had, hopefully maybe that can motivate somebody or help steer them in a direction where they won't have to face some of the, thanks, Katie, some of the challenges I've had. So that's the wonderful thing about good people in a group like this. Is I love you guys. Seriously.
Awesome. Thank you. Are you asking for the blog, Maddie? Or, you can always submit pictures in the group, but just want to be sure. If you're referring to the blog article, the article you write, yes, you're allowed to submit one photo because we have to kind of condense the space on our website. But you can, if it goes along with the story you're telling, yes. Yep.
Yeah.
You
too, Michelle. Have a great night. Okay.
And Ziggy, if I could say, Ziggy, if you're still on, this is a safe space. Obviously, we are spread all over the country. I'm in Buffalo, New York, but this is a safe place. You are always welcome to.
Yeah. So reach out. Dan has obliged, so he'll be more than happy to help you. Kate, I don't know if Kate is still on here. Get in touch.
I'm on my phone, so I can't PM anybody at the moment, or at least I can't figure out how to. But Kate, I know you have. I believe you have my email address. We've spoken on email. Please go ahead and forward that to Ziggy, so long as it is safe. If you feel safe communicating that way, Ziggy, whatever, we'll figure out a way.
All right, you guys. Good night, Maddie. Thank you. And make sure you guys, if you want to do those articles, it's below this video on the main page, the link to it. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Let's wishing Linda a quick and well recovery. And hopefully she'll be with us next week. Same time, same place. Yeah, I'm getting off a little early tonight. I got to get back in the bed.
Good night.
I'll see you guys.
Maddie. Good night,
Good night, everybody. I appreciate you all. See you later.
All right.
All right.